Oh, oh, Chankashala, Great Spirit. Oh, yes, here I am with my journal entry. Rashini and I was having so much fun. He's running alongside of Garuda. But we got to this new little, well, a new section to walk, let's put it that way. This is the bike path to the river. And so, no, I'm not going all the way to the river today. Oh, look at that beautiful reflection of the moon. I hope you can see it. Reflection of the moon in the canal anyway. Ooh, there's a face right there. And there's the moon in the sky. Pretty cool, huh? Well, yeah, it is. So, wow. Yesterday was pretty much like a breath of fresh air. Oh. So, Rashini and I, we finished our little deal, and I had a can of beans. I didn't want to make a crock pot of beans because today begins my fasting for this procedure, because typically my diet is exactly what I am not allowed to eat. And so took the opportunity last month and doing it again this month. Last month my procedure got canceled the day before, and they rescheduled me to the hospital instead of the clinic because I'm a person of solitude. I love my solitude, so nobody checking in on me physically. So they decided to send me to the hospital, which means I get to do this again, which turned out to be perfectly synchronistic with the energy waves that are coming in. I believe they started yesterday because I did. I had the little tingles in my skin. And that happened the last time there was a nice wave, and I'm sure the next wave came through. I have a feeling the second wave came through during the night, because I was ready to pass out and go to sleep. And then I laid down and it was like, nope, couldn't actually get to sleep. And then again and again and again. And it wasn't until about 2:30ish, I think I actually fell asleep. And I had this beautiful dream. There was a bunch of us women, and we were in service in some way. I cannot remember exactly what it was, but it was definitely, we were helping people. We were being of service, not in a big grandiose kind of way or anything like that, but basically sharing. Oh, pardon us, Rashini. No, honey. But in a, like, someone was cooking food and we were setting food out and different things like that. It was a grandmotherly type of service. And there was, like, teaching and sharing that was taking place at the same time. Let's turn around. Come on, this way. Thank you. So, good boy, aren't these just beautiful? They're just beautiful. Yeah, they are. And a majority of them has 1, 2, and 3 little white flowers in there. So I just remember really waking up and going, wow. And I meant to, and kind of still in that lucid state, and meant to write it down. And apparently I must have fallen back asleep because I did not write it down. And then I remember the vroom, vroom, vroom from a sister. I was like, oh dear. I slept all the way through my meditation time. But I believe that lucid dreaming is a form of meditation all in itself. So then we had a beautiful, sweet little fire circle this morning. And back to yesterday. So just feeling that and listen to my eye of wisdom and going, yep, that was my yesterday. Yep, we are right on pulse with the transits. And then and the alignments and the squarings, that whole polarization is still kind of continuing a little bit. And then the coming in, where it's the Taurus starting to put it into action. So that was definitely yesterday. And then I go to my appointment. We get to pull. Oh, I didn't see the dog, ma'am. Stay. My apologies.
Okay. Thank you.
He's a service dog. He stays. Go ahead. Hut. Wait. Wait. Good boy. You too. This way. So, okay, I'll let you back off. Okay. So, come on, let's go. Get up there in front of me. So, I go to my PTSD MST training. And she gets started. We're on the one chapter around relationships and seeing the patterns in your relationships and the different types of trauma and how they affect each person, and the examples. And then those that have had narcissistic parent or neglect, abuse, neglect, or different things in their childhood, when they join the military or they have sexual trauma, or it is that much more intensified and it reinforces those beliefs and patterns and so forth from your childhood. So it just kind of, and then, the cycle begins to continue. And then taking a look at what attracted you to a person or this relationship. And doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner, but in your relationships. And then what was the cause of the decline in the relationship, or the negative part of the relationship. And so, she's going through the portions of the chapter, and it's like, I felt myself in this resistance mode. And then it came time for me to share a little bit. And I basically was like, this has been my last 3 to 4 days. I said, I have been in it with my fire family and so forth. And I said, I just kind of had this breakthrough this morning, and I shared the past few days of the fire family in my days. And I said, and then here I'm sitting down and you're like telling me, what? I got to do this again. And she starts laughing and she says, I understand, you have your own processes and different things like that. And she says, and that you've been through it. And we started talking about the solar eclipse with the solar eclipse and the time frame in between to now this full moon and being in Aries. And now we're moving into Taurus. And she says, I completely understand. She says, we have been saging the tooties out of ourselves in our office for like a month. And the lieutenant even went to the community center and brought us more sage. She says, we were like, what is going on right now? And I says, well, that's what's going on. So, yes, I get to spend the next week before my next appointment actually doing the writing exercises and taking another look. So she basically shared with me, you've got a wonderful family. You've got wonderful adopted parents. I completely understand, this has been kind of like your life's work. But what I would like you to do is to sit with this and do the writings, not necessarily your current ones, but go back and pick a couple of examples and do some writing around it. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then we meet again and go to the next chapter. So that was like a yay, and I began opening up a little bit. This crab, my Cancer, this crab came back out of her shell during that period, and we went and got a boogie board. I've been wanting a boogie board, and they happened to have them because I was on that side of town and I had Hoopsie. I'm like, well, I might not be able to get the actual kayak that is going to be perfect for us yet. However, I can get us a little boogie board, and I can set him on the boogie board, and I don't know about that, but we'll see. Do you want to ride a boogie board? He's like, what are you talking about, lady? So, and then had a beautiful conversation with a sister of mine. We just love talking and sharing and kind of like a diffusing, especially for my sister. She is one fucking amazing woman, and she's so powerful, even though she sometimes doesn't see it. But wow. And so we were both kind of yawning and ready to kind of crash out, but neither one of us really slept last night. I found out this morning. Anyway, so that's been my past 24 hours. Oh, look at the dinosaur in there. Cute little thing. Yeah. So I'm starting to get the sun is coming up through, and maybe we've got the third wave. I find it really, really interesting that the geologists and those that I've been witnessing and watching that I know are sharing facts. They're sharing facts around like the San Andreas Fault, Cascadia Fault, even the ones in the one fault in Japan, I think it's the I want to say Nang Champa, but I think I'm wrong. Um, these different faults have really, they are honing in because of all of the tremors and the earthquakes that are starting to pick up. The earthquakes at all of the volcanoes along the west coast, and even the tarot readers that I have a high respect for, which is just, there's one, two, there's definitely three that I have a high respect for. There's one that I watch when she shows up, and another man that I will watch only when it shows up the first on my news feed, and Spirit is very persistent on that you need to watch this one. So but they've even been sharing, you know, there's a big shift happening, and we're all feeling it. There's something big getting ready to happen, and it's coming up in the cards, it's coming up in the geologists, and those of us that are really in tune with Mother Earth, we're feeling it too. So I find it so beautiful that the planetary alignments which go along with the, you know, the Mayan calendar and the gene keys are based on the astrology. So the planets are sharing it and making sure that we're honing in on our gifts, so to speak, and releasing all of the old stuff and learning to put it into action now with the Taurus moon, to be ready, to be in alignment, to be of service. And those are the things that are coming up in my dreams, this being of service. So it's not about fear, and it's not about being scared. It's about being prepared. And yes, you could say my loading up hoopsie is all about, you know, some of my old patterns. However, even in those old patterns, at least since I woke up, come on, baby. Even since I had my first awakening, because I believe we have a series of awakenings, but even in my first awakening, you know, Spirit would say, okay, let's go, and would put up a brick wall. You know, I could not go any further there, and got moved to another space. And so I would feel when my work was complete, coming to that completion, even though my ego was like, no, we got a good thing, or, you know, hey, I thought I was going to be here for longer. It turned out that that movement, that needing to go, was absolutely perfect and in alignment with my path, with whatever, you know, the planting of the crystals or the energy or whatever I needed to work on next. And so, yes, you know, Hoopsie is got all of her supplies in her. She is ready to go. All we need to really do is grab our last minute stuff and hop in. However, it's not out of fear. It's out of being prepared, being ready, because the San Andreas Fault does come all the way down here into very, very close to our area, to this space, and into the Baja. So, the Bay of Baja, that is. So, yeah. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Hey! Oh, spin. Hey. Yes. 5, that change is coming in the spiritual path, and we must be maternal. Ducks are around being maternal, that maternal energy, listening to that maternal energy. So, yeah, that's really all I have to share today. That's what's coming. That's what came through. And so here's to being prepared, not scared, grounding these beautiful spiritual gifts and planting them here on earth, walking our talk. And the song that came this morning was a song with Gandhi, sharing Gandhi and being the change that we wish to see. So, hey, hey.